Guys, welcome back. This is the Above Average FPL podcast, and my name's Adam, and as always, joined by Baker. Ruining the intro. No, it's perfect. How you doing, mate? You all right?
Are you saying me calling you a fiddler just before we came on, literally just before you started, is a bad thing?
Literally, yeah, literally as we're coming on. So, we can obviously chat while the lobby is going through. And so yeah, making me laugh half a second before I'm supposed to click the button is not ideal. But yeah, no, if you don't send me your team and I just like have to take your team from FPL team, I'll mess around with the bench and all sorts of stuff.
Every time.
The bench mainly. I can't really get away with it with the team itself. You kind of have to have that in place, but
you love it. How's clock changes going?
Clock changes are evidently going fantastically for both of us.
God. Yeah, every year, obviously, as sort of like Eddie gets older, wiser, can mess with you a little bit more. Suddenly it's like, this is the first year where he's definitely really, you've warned me for years about clock changes are a nightmare, and I'm now facing into clock changes of a nightmare. Yeah,
it's tough, but this week is a cause for celebration, mate. This week is a cause for celebration. Congratulations to you.
Yes, and I know. I didn't have a drink. I was like, I'm getting a drink. Someone in the chats mentioned about getting a whiskey before, and I was like, yep. Yeah. So I got no ice. It's I'm more your neck of the woods with the whiskey today. Yes, yeah, weird, weird world. So obviously, 10 years. I probably celebrate a weird date rather than the sort of normal date. So, 10 years ago yesterday, I found out I had cancer. Um, and the reason why I celebrate that date is because everything else is a very much a blur for me. In that, thought I had appendicitis on what would have been the 28th. I had what did I have? An ultrasound. Then on the 29th, I had a CT scan, and then later that afternoon, in the evening, I got the report, which you get it. It looks almost like on crappy fax paper, but you get it via email, like a protected document of here. This is what it is.
Yeah.
That told me that I had a tennis ball sized tumor in my bowel, which is odd. I mean, it was very hard to process. Why it was all a blur to me was the very next day, so today, as it were, I ended up going to see a consultant and then got admitted immediately into hospital because it wasn't the tumor that was found. It was an abscess that was attached to the tumor. And that was like that was like a bag of tennis balls, the size of that. And they thought that would rupture. So they literally was like, manage it, get you in hospital, straight upstairs on the intravenous antibiotics, managed it for like 3 days, and then had surgery, and it was gone. So in my mind, I only had cancer for about 4 or 5 days. But they reckon, the tumor was there for about 2 years. I then had, as you very well know, basically 9 months of horrificness because it was emergency surgery. There was all sorts of complications. That abscess and the infection just kept coming back. I walked around with a vacuum on me for about 4 months, which was a delight, and then had 8 rounds of chemo. So all of that was, it was a weird world. But I'd never had that bell. I never had that bell at the end. I had a phone call telling me after I'd had my final CT scan, hey, we've done your final CT scan, no evidence of disease. Not all clear, no evidence of disease. So for me, the moment's like, well, when was that moment? Which was 10 years yesterday. And 10 years is that like magic date, isn't it? As soon as when these sort of things happen, you can't help yourself but Google it. And the first thing that comes up is like 10-year survival rates. So you're like, okay, if you make the 10 years, surely that's it. It's all fine. And it was all, like I've had the tumor, they sliced all the tumor up and they gene test it, proved it was all genetic, like freak and all that stuff. So should mean there's no right reason for it to come back, and I'm really lucky, in terms of how it's all worked out. So
you're drinking whiskey, you're doing 180 kilometers of cycling and 42k of running, and You know, you
And we're trying to do some. We're trying to do. We've got a fitness channel in the Patreon now.
that
We're
came
all
out
over
that came
it.
out of nowhere. That came out of nowhere. But yeah, no, that's in there. That might do both of us some good. I mean,
I think
you're
it's really.
more further along than I am, but
But I'm only a month further along than me. I basically realised in September I'd done absolutely, especially when golf's on. I try to do as little exercise as possible, a bit of weights, but try to do no cardio because I'm like, I just want to play golf. It feels like a waste doing anything else. But as it then gets there, I'm like, I need to do some more. So Joe, who's also an FPL player, but is a guy I do a weekly like PT session with, just online, and we chat FPL mostly. Is set me a challenge of doing 180 kilometers on my bike and 42k running in October, which I managed to finish off tonight. We're going. I
nice.
hate running. I hate it. Hate it. But I do feel bad for it. He asked me how I felt. I was like tired, but yeah, we started a
Oh,
fitness
it's
channel
good.
in the Discord, and there's some very helpful, inspiring stuff in there that's hopefully means that, because we're like the most of the people in that Patreon, we're all like 30 to 50, 30, 60 almost, actually, like the guys in there, all the same challenges of managing kids and this stupid game and watching lots of football and stuff, and exercise is important.
Exercise is important. Yeah, I agree. I agree. And yeah, so we better start talking about the football because obviously we've had the Carabao and
Yeah,
we've had the results from that. We've had massively rotated teams. We've got some weird double blank possibility that might not even be anything because Palace just might roll out every couple of days for a week, which could be really, really interesting. I think there's a lot of people talking about plans for that. Like FPL gave us 5 transfers like the week before. So I think we can just pretty much chill. And as much as no one's got Salah, right? There's a transfer saved. And so I think we can just manage it as it comes. And when we
yeah,
get the information, we can do what we need to do. So I don't think it's such a big deal. I mean, if it does come, if you've got a chip that allows you to do something in a single week, be it a free hit or be it a triple captain, for example, because those are the
mm,
sort of the last two that are still sort of tossing around a little bit,
definitely.
then
Yeah, yeah.
then yeah, it's a week you can use it. But outside of that, just
Well, yeah, like I say, we still don't know. We
just
still
stick
don't
to the
know
plan. Yeah,
what's
stick
what's
to the plan.
probably the best, indication we've got is good old Dale Johnson. When did Dale Johnson ESPN become Dale Johnson BBC, by the way?
About a month ago, about 3 weeks ago.
Did it?
Yeah, he
Yeah,
left.
yeah,
Yeah, he did leave, and means he's not doing
yeah.
the VAR stuff anymore.
It's is it? His bio still says he talks about VAR a little bit,
But
but
the official like ESPN piece, I think that he did was an ESPN piece.
was it?
So I
Was
think
it?
I
Yeah,
don't think
yeah.
he can carry it over for the BBC.
He so he basically wrote an article on the BBC website today, and in it said the Premier League basically have little appetite from moving from the weekend. That might, be the catalyst to cause a double. So we'll see. I don't know. I look at if I look at Palace's, well, if I look at the team that Liverpool put out last night, Liverpool could play again tonight in a Premier League game
Yes,
because that team they put out last night was not was no Premier League players. Like it wouldn't have impacted them at all. And then I think about the fact that, well, that this conference game, we all talk about the number of games, but there is some important context. And one is the Carabao, and a lot of teams play weaker teams, and that's just Premier League. Premier League are going to flex their muscles and say Carabao's not as big as the Premier League. We come first, not having our day. And then they're going to look at it and say you're playing cups. Cups, I think the team is called in on the
perfect.
Thursday. Cups at home. Any idea where Cups is from? KUPS.
Yeah, KUPS. So like either Poland or Slovenia.
Finland.
Oh, okay.
Maybe it's Cups.
Maybe it's cups.
Um,
Yeah,
but come on.
but the thing is they've got a squad for that already, though, right? They can't just throw that game because
Yeah,
they can't just
yeah.
throw under 19s in, can they?
They're just going to. They're based. I think the Premier League are going to flex it and just go. Which one you throwing, boys? Which one you throwing?
it's so stupid because all this stuff is just known like at the start of the season. Everyone
Yeah.
knew these fixtures could happen. This clash could happen. It's so
Palace,
dumb.
Palace are going to be upset about it, but there is some part of their own doing. Like there is some, there is it should be some. I think like we all think because Palace have such a small squad, have the smallest squad in the Premier League, pretty much. That therefore is they should have different rules. That's not the case. That's that Premier League will go squads, use them. Oh, it's not. On all honesty, in all their world, they're not going to look at it and say it's not our fault that Palace have got a really small squad. It's not our fault if Sar's going to AFCON. None of that's the Premier League's fault, is it?
No.
But
it does feel like they're being punished for winning games, though. Like that's a stupid thing. It feels like in the state they are, they feel like they're being punished for winning games, and not every team, not every squad has. I mean, I guess we just know that the Premier League just set up for the big clubs always. Anyway, we know that. Like people talk about it, and just we know that.
But they put out a really strong team last night when Liverpool put out kids. So
yeah, I mean they could have gone. They could have gone a lot weaker.
They could have gone a lot weaker. Like there is a little bit where you go, well, it is a little bit of your own doing it, boys. Is that you're taking all these very serious? Like every Thursday night, you're like, wow, that team's more strong than I thought it was going to be. Every Tuesday night, you're like, or Wednesday night the Carabao, you're like, that team's stronger than I expected it to be. If they're going to go strong, then Premier League going to go, well, it's not partially. This is your fault, yeah.
Yeah, I think there's definitely a piece around the players, and this is not Palace, right? This is everyone. There are just too many games now. Full stop. There's too many games and not enough weeks to play all of the games in. There is at some point going to be a breaking point because clubs cannot continue to fill larger and larger squads because all they're going to be because the Premier League are also squeezing every club on being sustainable and managing their P&L properly, right? So they either spend 500 million on 20 players, whereas like Chelsea will spend it on like 5, but they spend 500 million on 20 players and they're absolutely screwed from a PSR perspective. It just leans back to like the Super League type conversations again.
It is the last season of this, by the way, is because next season they're moving the international breaks, aren't they? All into one game, one little section, which provides, I think it's at least one, potentially 2 extra midweeks. So this is the last. This is the last time. I always wonder if this is the last time, might they be a bit more lenient and go, actually, we'll do something just because it's going to be a one-off because we won't have to do that again.
I love the fact that every single season we feel like we know what we're gonna do next season for FPL, and then there's just gonna be something completely thrown at us that's completely different. We're just basically gonna have a month off or 5 weeks off for international breaks. I don't know how long are the international breaks next year. It must be like a month.
I thought it was 3 weeks. I thought it was a 3-week break. In my mind, it's a 3-week break.
But most breaks are 2 weeks, right?
Yeah,
and we have like 4 of them.
They'll play like 4 or 5 games. They'll play 2 games normally, don't they? But 3 weeks off, you can play 4 games.
Yeah, okay.
So you get a little bit extra. The only thing is obviously is, do you change your mind on stuff? So for example, I did the Thinking Cap FPL pod yesterday or the day before?
Tuesday. 2 days.
Tuesday. And I was talking on that about potentially free hitting in 12. That's what I was looking at. Now, unless we get clarification before then, I don't know what the deal is. I suppose that is after an international break, so potentially we would have. But there is, it does put a little spanner in the works in terms of what you might plan for.
Yeah. But again, I guess so. Yeah, free hit you are planning. That's true.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there is more planning in free hit.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, we've got game week 10 in front of us. We've already made all of our transfers.
Yeah, spoiler alert. How many transfers have you made?
I've made 2.
And I've made 3.
I might make a third.
Ooh,
I don't know. I might make a third. I could still make a third. It is possible. We'll talk about that when I get to my team.
We will do. I just seen Luke in the chat. Word up, homies. We haven't seen Luke for a while. Like I thought you were supposed to be doing like black box every week. I thought that's what it was. Like he said he was going to do black box every week, and then like start the season, and it was just like kept dialing in like half naked from some hotel, wandering around. Hardly seen him since.
Been very busy.
We need Luke on soon, but he needs to do his own pod probably before he does ours.
That's probably quite true. That's probably quite true. Let's get into just the normal bit. So thank you very much for coming and joining us this evening. And make sure you do drop a like on the video if you do enjoy it, and hit subscribe if you want to see more from us. As always, shout out to Crypto Block Dan, the man who makes this all possible. If you are interested in the blockchain and you need some advice, or you need an angel investor or anything like that, he can advise you. You can head over to hubble.social/Dan Hybel. You can grab from 15 minutes for $40, and he can give you as much information in that time as is humanly possible. He is a bona fide expert in the field, and he was a reply man the other day. Did you see that? He was replying to absolutely every tweet possible. It was mental. It's a brand new I say it's an engagement strategy on X, but yeah, he's a guy, he just knows his stuff. So hubble.social/Dan Hybel, Crypto Block Dan to us.
It's annoyingly cool, Dan. Like, you find out stuff all the time. Like, we were talking about bloody runs early, and he's like, oh yeah, I've just done like 5 marathons through France and all that stuff. You're like, he lived life. Lived a life, that boy.
And if you want to come and continue the conversation, you can head over to patreon.com/above average FPL. We're over there. We're chatting all the time, all day, every day. You'll even get random messages from me at 1:15 when I'm up too late for absolutely no reason. And, we've got all the games in there. Beat Baker. We've got Last Man Standing, and we've got the FPL Blackjack. As Baker said, fitness channel's just gone in there, so that's going to start popping off. People are much healthier than me and Baker, which is good for us. It's definitely a benefit for us, but loads of helpful hints and tips in there as well. And shout out to everybody that's joined us in this month. And that is Ryan Lewis, Luke, Vinny Anderson, David Goodbranson, Neil Robertson. No, not that one, but another Neil. We love you all the same. Daniel Edwards, Try Rodders, Frederick Callan, Simon Glynn, who has rejoined back with us. Haaland. I think someone just wanted me to read that one out more than anything. And also Dal. Dal sent me a message saying that he loves watching and listening back to our podcast when he's finished his night shift, and really appreciates the work that we do. So, Dal, we're glad to have you on board, and you need to send me your address, man, so I can send you some coasters, because you get free stuff when you join the Patreon. So shout out to everyone there. Let's go games.
Should we go games, or should we just disclose our teams first? I was thinking about this. We've done 5 transfers. Like, do we just? I was like, do we just be weird and just get the teams out of the way, say it's done, disclaimer it, no crypticness.
Baker's team. Here we go.
Yeah,
Baker's team.
Let's go early. Let's go early. All 3 transfers made on Sunday night. Yeah, straight after the pod. I did say I was going to do them. And I did. So it's Pope and goal. I've currently got Burn, Gabriel, and Richards. Sounds like Richards is okay. So it will be that. Semenyo, Gordon, Saka, and Bumo is my midfield 5. Haaland and Mateta up top. So, and then on the bench, Rodon's probably going to be the first guy off the bench if Richards, for example, is not there. Would you have? Let me ask the question first of all. Then, before I talk about that moves, would you have Rodon? Bear in mind, Guiu now probably starts because the lad got sent off. Would you have Rodon first sub, or would you have Guiu first sub?
I don't think it matters, because your most at-risk player in this is Richards, potentially. He's okay, but
which means Rodon comes on anyway.
Which means Rodon comes on regardless. So it doesn't really matter.
Cool.
I'd play Rodon. I'd not play Rodon. I'd have Rodon first.
Yeah. So the 3 moves that I made: Gyökeres, Reinders, and who else went? Oh, and Dominic Calvert-Lewin.
Oh, yeah. Sorry, out, yes.
When you have to think about him, that's the reasons. So Gyökeres, Calvert-Lewin, and Reinders left the building. Mateta, Bumo, and Guiu came in. I went Guiu over Krupi. We talked about it on the pod. and having 0.6 million, the obvious thing when you look at this is the best team in the league right now is Arsenal, and I only have two of them. It's proper weird. It feels strange. But so I've got to try and make sure, but they're not cheap, are they? So if I'm looking at this team at the moment, my ways into Arsenal, I think I might be priced out of Pope to Raya tonight. Raya looks like it's going up. But Burn looks like he's going up. And I do then have the money to do Burn to Calafiori next week, which is what I'm thinking of doing next week to get him back. There's also a Gordon to Eze, maybe, if I still fancy it, but it's really hard to not have two Arsenal defence in it right now.
Yeah, real tough. It's
real tough.
It's an obvious pick. They haven't conceded a goal in like 6 games. It's just
yeah.
I mean, obviously, we don't fully expect that to continue. We would love for that not to continue, but yeah, it just feels silly not to have double defense when you're still not quite sure. I still don't feel 100% confident where the attacking returns are coming from.
No, there's still that world that happened obviously week before last where you pick Eze and he goes off on like 61st minute, and you're just watching these defenders potentially double digiting at any moment.
Yeah, of course.
So whereas if Calafiori goes off on 70 minutes, I probably don't mind it.
Yeah, exactly.
I probably don't mind it. I can't afford Timber now. 6.1, I think. Gone to now.
Is he all up at 6.1?
Yeah, I think he's got a 6.1 now.
Yeah, that makes sense because I can sell him for 5.9, I think. Oh no, I can sell him for 6.
7.6 now.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's all up to 6.1. So he's gone for me. Like that.
When did Gabriel get to 6.5, by the way?
6.5. I know.
Like I'm sure 2 weeks ago he was 6.1, no?
Yeah.
Like when I bought Timber, he was definitely 6.1.
Jonathan Snyder sits in the chat that there's still Rice obviously there as well. Yeah. So Gordon's definitely, when I look at this midfield, I'm like, Gordon's the one that's itching at me a little bit. Still definitely itching at me a little bit. So we'll work that one out. Work that one out when we get to it.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. Good.
Done.
Then over to me. My team's a bit more complicated this week because I've still got some flags lying around. I've still got Reinders there as well. So it's a bit awkward, but I've made 2 transfers so far. So I'll run through. I've got Raya in goal. That seems pretty straightforward. I've got Michael Keane. I've got Timber, and I've got Alderete at the moment. Haven't heard anything on him or Goodmanson yet. To be honest, the reason I haven't heard is because I haven't looked. So I will look and find out whether I need to worry about those. But that's that's a tomorrow thing. We can do that. My midfield is Enzo, Bruno, Saka, and Sarr. Sarr came in for Semenyo. Obviously, it's a bad fixture, or it's not the perfect fixture for Semenyo this week. I kind of brought him in and have had him for like 2 of his worst weeks. Kind of feel how that's gone. And for everybody that's held him before that, disappointed by the last 2 weeks. I've now sold him, so you can all have some more points again. So you're welcome. And then up front, I've got Mateta, who came in for Richarlison. That was just an obvious move. And then Thiago and Haaland. And obviously the Sarr move was really money as well. I needed some money to make the double switch there. Dubravka, Reinders, Goodmanson, and Senesi on the bench. And yeah, this is where it gets a bit sticky for me because I'm not sure. I'm not sure with the flags what I would like to do with Alderete. They're all kind of playing each other as well this week. It's a bit awkward. And also I don't like Reinders, and I also don't have Gabriel. So there's all sorts of things going on in my head around these. And obviously I can't get to Gabriel without actually just selling Timber. Like Timber's the only way in.
Yeah. Yeah, of course it is. I was just thinking, where else can you go? But you obviously already got the 3. I don't think I'd hit it. But no. I guess you need to see what happens with the defenders. You need to wait on presses, really.
Yeah, and it might just be a case of waiting, and I'll see after presses what's going on, because I might just get I might lean to a Brighton defender, maybe.
Brighton defenders.
Maybe.
Come on, then, let's go to the games, because then now we're talking about potential moves that if you are going to do something else.
Go on then, let's go. Maybe. So yeah, every week we look at the Rob T games, ideally looking for games with projected over 2 goals and clean sheets of greater than 40%. I'm just re-looking at this, because I think I missed it when I put this together. But Fulham are at 40%.
I know. As you were talking, I couldn't help it myself. I was like, that was like Fulham at 40% feels absurdly high.
Yeah, so the big ones here, obviously Arsenal 52%, Fulham 40%, and then you've got Newcastle 37%, City 36%. And you've basically got them saying Sunderland, Everton, both over 30%.
Both over 30%, but almost the most, likely result being 1-1.
Yeah. Which I guess makes sense.
Yeah.
It does feel like it makes sense. And then for those that are scoring over 2 or potential over 2 goals, Arsenal 2.17, Liverpool 2.07, City 2.15, and that's it.
We do it every week, but I'll say the question is it enough to go against Haaland this week?
No, it's not. It just isn't. It just isn't. I mean, I genuinely think Gabriel's the only other option.
Yeah.
I think he's the second best. He's the second best captain choice in the entire game this week, without a shadow of a doubt for me.
This is the bit that does start to become quite interesting, is when we've talked about this every week, where we say, right, if Man City are expected over 2 goals, well, we know the majority of stuff is going to go to Haaland, and therefore we need another team to be like expected to be like 2.7, 2.8, all that sort of stuff. So have we got that? No. But I think, with Gabriel, if I said 2.17, what do you expect his to be? You wouldn't be surprised if it was, say, 0.4 or 0.5, would you? You wouldn't be surprised at all. And then you're like, well, actually, if you offered me 0.4 of an XG, which is if you equate it to points, 6 points for a goal, so it's about 2.5 points. Then you say that there's 52% chance of a clean, so let's give him another 2 points on top of that. He's probably not going to get DEFCON at Burnley, but let's say he's got a 50% chance of it. You're basically building in sort of like a 5-point expected part in this. If you're trying to think sort of model-wise, plus you've got his appearance points, takes him to about 7. Plus, if he does any of those things, he's potentially, like, he's been so good on the bonus this season that his expected points, in my mind, maybe they're not what the models say, but in my mind are actually coming nearer to like 7 or 8.
Yeah.
Which is that kind of line, isn't it? When you're thinking about captains, you're looking at, like, if there's a 7 or above on expected, points for captain, you're like, that's a solid captain pick.
Yes.
He's getting up there. He really is getting up there.
So looking at the Solio data based on as it is at the moment, so Haaland's at like just over 6.1, Gabriel's at like 5.26. But the weird thing but I feel like if Haaland returns, I feel like 6 or 8 points is probably where he goes with that. 6, 8, depending on the game, maybe 9. If Gabriel returns, like beyond the clean sheet, now we just assume the clean sheet's almost, we don't assume it's banked, but let's be relatively confident that they'll clean.
Yeah.
Because they don't concede shots. Like it's like the opposite of João Pedro, right? It's like immovable object means unstoppable force type thing. They don't concede shots. So let's lock that in. If he gets a return, he gets everything. Like he gets absolutely everything on top of that. Immediately, like it all comes. Whereas Haaland has to do more than that, just that. I know it's still 2 returns versus 2 returns, but I feel like Gabriel's ceiling is can be higher. Like we've seen it. These defenders just spike, right? They spike 15 pointers, 17 pointers. Van der Ven's just got 23 points. Haaland hasn't got
Haaland,
close to that.
yeah, Haaland needs to Hattie really
Yeah.
to to get there.
I mean, obviously, he doesn't have to Hattie. You'd be pretty comfortable with a 13-point captain. Like, if you went and said, "Oh, Haaland's got you 13 points this week," would you take it? I mean, if Gabriel got 15 points, I'd still take my Haaland 13, and I'd be happy with it.
Yeah.
Right? I think that's absolutely fine. Um,
It now, let's say I'm still going to captain Haaland this week, but
well, so am I because I don't have Gabriel. So
you are too.
I'm
But I
stuck.
do think, yeah, I do like I still think it's important every week to have this kind of environmental conversation of, one of the key aspects for us as FPL managers is to think, are there winds of change? Are there stuff that might enable us to take him on? Because if you can and you get it right, you fly. If you do and you get it wrong, you're stuffed. Yeah, and so you need to build up the case, like, and look for the right opportunity. It doesn't get hugely better. Doesn't get hugely better than playing Burnley.
Feels like playing
This is
Burnley away is better as well. For Gabriel, like for
do you?
strikers, you think home is better, but for a defender, well, I just think it leans closer to more being involved in the action, being Arsenal being
Yeah,
more set piece focused, because maybe they'll look to try and control situations, and they control it best when they can put it down on the deck and you know take a set piece. And so I think his chances of DEFCON are higher. I think the number of set pieces they'll utilize him for and target him with is higher. I think his chances of a clean sheet are still just as high because the defense is just elite, and they've got a really good goalkeeper. And so you add that all in, I think this is actually probably a better fixture for a defender away from home like Gabriel than it would be if he was at home against Burnley, where you'd expect them to completely dominate absolutely everything, and maybe he wouldn't get some clearances, or he might not
yeah.
get some tackles that he might get in this game.
The one thing that I can't ever lose. I don't know. Do you remember this conversation that we had with our friend John McKenzie when
Yeah,
he used.
I don't remember my team like 3 weeks ago. Come
Let's
on.
see if you remember these words, because it was over a year ago that he said these words. Areola teams normally get eviscerated by Pep. That was the word he used, eviscerated. And you said, yeah, that makes sense. I sold Doku last year against him.
Yeah, I did. Yes, funny enough, I do remember this conversation.
And I can't help but see it. I look at teams, and what he said is, when Bournemouth come up against guys, especially away from home, that can potentially get in behind them, they can smash them. They can smash them. And yeah, I am. Um, that's the bit I can't lose that. I'm looking for the evisceration.
Fair enough. I mean, look, I can't argue with that. That's fine.
John knows more than us. That's all I
It's going
think
to be
about.
like it's going to be like 13-15 or 13-11 or
Probably.
whatever. It's going to be so close. I'm just
Yeah,
going to get absolutely nailed by Gabriel. This is what I'm telling myself this weekend.
yeah.
But I probably shouldn't clip that. But
So other than that, I mean, you said about a bright defender, and I'm looking at it now, and I'm like, actually, maybe, maybe it's not too bad. Um,
maybe not. I mean, like Anderson's not back yet, is he?
this, no.
Sorry, if I'd have called him Joe, you might have got there fast.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I don't think he is. I don't think he is. Maybe Marco would tell us something else, but my understanding was that he wasn't back this week, which is, like, I don't back that 40% clean for Fulham.
No,
Um, this should be good for most teams. Most teams have Arsenal attack. Most teams have some Man United attack. Most teams, or some teams now, less teams than you'd think, would have some Liverpool attack. Teams have Man United, Man City attack. Teams have Palace attack. Teams have Newcastle attack. Like, it's pretty good for all of those guys this week. Should be a good week. Most of us can field defenders from teams that have got 30% or more chance of a clean. I don't think there's any excuse in the world to play Senesi this week. That's That's my feeling on Senesi is this week. I don't agree with people going, oh, we get DEFCON, stuff that. You've got 30% chances of a clean from so many players this week. Take the chance. Don't think, oh, especially if you're captain in Haaland. Like, don't go, well, I might get 3 points from it for 1 point plus a DEFCON. Don't do
I
that.
I agree. He's firmly third on my bench
Have some
and will
fun
not
with
be
it.
moving. Firmly third on my bench and not moving.
Have some fun with it. Like, for example, even if someone, for example, if they have Mickey van der Ven versus Senesi, I think there's a load of people that would play Senesi over Van der Ven. Chelsea have conceded the most XG from set pieces this season. We're going to be sticking it on Bob Sanchez every single corner we get. We might not get that many, but what we do, we'll stick on his nose. I'm scared of Van der Ven, but also come on Van der Ven because it's bloody Chelsea.
Exactly. Exactly. We won't
Um,
worry about that too much.
did you talking to Tottenham as we're on here? These things, me and it turns out quite a few guys on Twitter seem to think that Kudus was carrying some kind of injury or something last night. Did you think that?
Well, I think if you take the fact that I was outside vaping for most of it, I probably really wasn't paying attention. I was so disinterested in how
Yeah, well, I
bad it
suppose,
was.
especially once it was 2-0. It was 2
Yeah, yeah,
nil
yeah, gone,
And partly
gone.
there was a little bit for me from that of either Kudus is carrying something here or he's just like, I can't be asked. But when he came on, it just didn't run. He just sort of sat around in the middle of the pitch. Well, there was a couple of times where we were like 4 or 5 guys in attack and he just wasn't even in the screen. You were like, what's going on here? It was really odd. It was really, really odd. Um,
Well, he was brought
then
on
he
as a
obviously,
direct replacement for Johnson. He should have been out on that right wing, just hugging it.
yeah, he didn't do that at all. He
No.
didn't do that at all. But I'm really interested to see if Frank says anything about him tomorrow. Whether he was just knackered. He got obviously a nasty challenge from Ghana, but against Everton. And then obviously he also got a nasty challenge. The only thing I'd say that was a positive is obviously he then got the horrendous challenge from Joe Linton and was still fine. And I actually thought like the last 5 minutes or so of the game, he turned up a bit. So I was either, well, your heart wasn't in this, mate, which I can kind of understand because it was pretty miserable. Um, but yeah, it was just something about it last night that I was like, what's going on here? Didn't see him in it. Didn't see him in the game. Quite a lot of people have sold him this week. Obviously, him to Saar seems like a pretty obvious guy, but bear in mind, Kudus was like 40% owned. That's a big thing for people to watch.
Yeah, I mean, we've got Chelsea, Arsenal, United in the next few weeks. I think it's a reasonable sell, FPL wise. I'm quite happy for him to rest up against Newcastle at 2-0 down. If he's going to be better against Chelsea, I'll take that personally.
Mm.
But yeah, it seems a reasonable sell. I mean, the Saar obviously scores twice in midweek, and does that concern you? Like we talked about fixture pile-ups already, and we've already said they put out a pretty strong team. I mean, we're in now, aren't we? We're kind of just locked in now with these Palace players,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
and we
Yeah,
just need them just to roll out every week, basically.
they've got a tiny squad. They've got a tiny squad, and Uche and Devaney are just they're quite a step down. We're starting to see obviously. I'm just never that bothered with Saar because I just think he's a minutes monster.
Yeah,
It just it just seems an animal for it. Like that. I think he's like your set piece, sorry, non-set piece standout, mainly because of how good he is on the minutes. Um, last season we saw it. He just played 90 after 90 after 90 after 90. This season, like he's playing as many minutes as you'd want him, more minutes than you'd want him to see him play across all competitions. I do think, obviously, the Nketiah injury, we found out today that he's got a hamstring injury. I can see a position like you saw last night in that game. He took up, especially in that first half, obviously, when Nketiah was on the was on the pitch rather than Mateta, actually what that meant was Sarr was big dog and strolled into the 9 position quite a lot. I do wonder, if you think about as they get towards the end of a game, if Mateta's tired, because they've got to protect Mateta now. I think,
Yeah.
is I saw everyone saying X minutes up, but my mind says let him run for 75 minutes, take him off. If they're these are better fixtures. If they're winning, take him off the last 15, put Devaney, put Devaney and Uche on for Pino and Mateta, stick Sarr up top. I think it's nothing but good for him. Yeah, I would say the Nketiah injury is better for Sarr than it is for Mateta. But you just have to
Okay.
play him.
Yeah.
What
just
else can we
playing
do?
both.
What else can we do? And they're in such lovely price brackets that it's so easy to move them if you want to move them. Mateta goes to Voltamada, goes to any other guy around that price. Sarr, you've got Enzo and Dye, all of those things. Shout out, well, we've got Rob T on the screen. I really like some of the stuff that he's started doing, more than just these are the weekly things that we're starting to see, is have a look at some of the stuff he's done over the week about FPL mids, DEFCON versus XGI. I think it's really interesting watching the sort of curve, like almost of do you want guys that are like pure XG monsters? Do you want guys, the DEFCON monsters? Do you want the guys in between? And we know, just from watching it, it wouldn't surprise you that the closest two guys in between are Bruno Fernandes and Dye. I think that makes it really, really obvious, that those would be the guys that you look at, and you look at it and you say, to be fair, you're not losing a lot in terms of XGI by having those guys. And Dye's a really solid pick. He's a really solid pick, but obviously he's got AFCON as well. I know we've got
Yeah.
these 5 transfers, but it's like, how many of them do you want? How many do you
But
want to use?
again, but again, I mean, Everton over the next 4 or 5 weeks have pretty decent fixtures. And so how many do you want? But also, as you said already, there are plenty of players around that price anyway. That,
Yeah.
I mean, it isn't too difficult to move off. I mean, Forest move into a half decent run at that time if they can actually pick up any kind of form.
Yep.
You could just stick on Soboslai, Xhaka, Caicedo. You could just park it there until Ndai gets back, right? You just drop it down
Yep.
and then wait until Ndai gets back. Or you find a little bit extra and get into the double United attack.
Yeah. But yeah, big shout out to the guy. Check. Everyone sees Rob T's stuff on people's pods when they look, but also make sure you are following Rob on Twitter, because the other stuff that they're putting out, the Solio graphics, they're just class. They're class. I mean, I don't know how many followers Rob's got. We probably don't need to shout him out. We probably do. 35,000 followers. I just don't think that's actually enough for Rob T.
Probably not.
I just don't think that is enough.
He's in the Krellin level of information.
No offense to Ben, but Ben's a brilliant manager, and he helps us a lot out on the doubles. But Rob, we don't go into a week without Rob. We
Yes,
frame
I
a
agree.
weekly conversation all around that. So if anyone's watching this and they're not following Rob T on Twitter, do so. Because actually, the more that you've digested his stuff before you hear us talk about it, actually the more valuable it is. So we're not in any kind of paid sponsorship or anything with Rob, but we do feel like we should shout him out when he does the good stuff. But it isn't just this. It's not just compiling some odds and sticking them up on a thing.
Sticking these up. These are the same stuff we do every week. I was considering putting the midfielders XG versus DEFCON graph on screen. I did enjoy the fact that the first one went out and people were like, hold on, Bruno's just had a ton of pens. And then he pulled out the non-penalty one instead, and he's still pretty good. I was quite happy to see that. But it also makes me think, you look at that and you ask yourself about So I've got 9 million Bruno. Why do I not have 6.5 million in die? And I
Well,
still think that like United's attack is better than Everton's attack. And Everton had if Everton had a better striker, I think that in die would probably be better.
poses us all kind of good questions like that. We talked about Soboslai last week because it sounds more fun, and you're like, technically, he's producing as much XG, yeah, and similar defcons to Sado, who's like 1.2, 1.3 million cheaper. He's doing similar to what Elliot Anderson's doing effectively for like 1.8 million pound cheaper. Maybe actually I could just go with that. Like I say, is there's some really good stuff where it enables you to think, okay, where do I lean? Oh, actually, almost some of the times, if you're not a big model guy like myself, is it helps me understand where does my eye lean. My eye is definitely leaning to goals. If you look at those guys on there, I'm like, oh yeah, Bumo, Saar, Saka, Semenya. Yeah, I want those guys.
Yeah.
I'm probably undervaluing Defcon, overvaluing goals, and it's like somewhere in between.
Yep.
I don't know if there's that much to talk about. Is there anything else here that's hey, this or that? Only one for you then, I guess. Alderete versus Keane.
I think I've got to play them both.
I think I've got to play them
I
both.
think I have to play them both.
If you had to play one of them, I'll make up a hypothetical, just in case you do some kind of crazy move that you haven't mentioned yet.
I'll take the slight Michael Keane favourite here, and I'll just let it. And I'll just blame it on the data if it goes wrong.
I reckon you're more likely to get the DEFCON as well from an away team when it's like that, don't you?
Yeah.
I think so. I thought you were about to say, I'll take the fifth when you were like that.
No. I'll lean into the data and then take all the blame away from myself.
Okay. Should we
Absolve
do a few
myself from blame.
questions? We've got nothing else.
Yeah,
We've
we've got nothing else to do. 48 minutes is pretty short for us. So let's fire some questions in.
There's a few questions about would you sell João Pedro?
Yes.
Even though
Yes.
okay.
Doesn't shoot. Like it's third pod in a row now saying it doesn't shoot. So yes, is the answer.
Oh, God, you're so killing us when he's playing Tottenham this weekend. There'd be bloody clips of this everywhere. Doesn't shoot. Goal, goal, goal. We get a trick against us.
Not happening.
If you had to sell, Matt Bugsby says, if you had to sell Pedro or Reinders, who would be the most pressing guy to get out? I just think it's like you've kept Reinders, and I think the reason why is the upside of selling Pedro is going to potentially be a lot higher than the upside of selling.
Yeah, because Pedro to Mateta works. Reinders to who? Like 5.6, 5.7. Like you're in the bottom ends of the game at that point.
Yeah, you're looking around those probably DEFCON guys rather than Paqueta. It's Paqueta or it's who just got 1.1 point last two games. And now he's playing Newcastle.
So João Pedro.
Yeah, João Pedro.
Would you start Sanchez or Dubravka? I'd start Sanchez.
Yeah, 100% Sanchez.
Yeah. Not even close.
We're terrible at home. Like sadly, there's a very good chance he gets a clean.
Would you play Bowen or Mukiele?
Bowen.
I don't even know West Ham. I looked at that and I can't even remember who West Ham have got.
West Ham are home to Newcastle.
Oh, to Newcastle.
My brain just can't do it. My brain just can't do it. I can't do it. But when you think about it, 30% a chance of a clean for Mukiele and probably gets DEFCON. It's closer than it should be.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
Thiago or Welbeck? Think short term, probably just I think I'd punt on Welbeck.
Yeah.
Now, I think I'm happy that I've got Thiago and Brentford's fixtures are still fine. Palace, Newcastle, Brighton, Burnley. Still good. Next four.
He's gone up. What's he gone up? 6.1?
Thiago.
Yeah.
Is he not a bit more than that? Is he not 6.2 now?
Is he? You got a couple out of him.
Yeah, he's 6.2. Yeah,
Sexy
he's 6.2.
times.
Oh,
Six.
talk sexy time. Talk about we were talking in the Patreon about how much money people have got, and you're like, I've only got 101.7 with 0.6 in the bank. I'm like, I've got 98.5 million, mate, and 1.1 in the bank. I can't even break the 100 million barrier.
Who is it? Who is it that had like 104 million or something like that?
I haven't used any chips yet, or something stupid like that, wasn't it? Haven't used my wild card yet.
Phil on it. Was it Phil Potter
Which
on
explains,
it,
which explains if you haven't used your wild card yet, you will lose value when you lose your wild card. But still,
it's actually 6.2 versus 6.4 now on Welbeck versus Thiago. I think I would go. You say Welbeck, but he's got 7 goals.
Thiago,
Yeah.
yeah, he's good. He's good.
Chugging on, isn't he?
He's
Colin
doing all
says,
right.
sell Paqueta for Minter. I don't mind that at all.
Yeah, that seems fine to me.
Isn't it funny how that's moved though, isn't it? Like a few weeks ago, that was well, Paqueta's on pens, is and he gets DEFCON, so therefore you go there, and then you're like, I'm going against open threat guy Minter. It quickly that narrative can change, and then Paqueta could turn up in any game and get like a 12, 13 pointer, and
It
we
always
all think,
worries me. So I've got scar tissue on this, and I can't remember whether I mentioned this at the weekend, but I wrote it down, and I couldn't remember. Because his post match interview. Don't know whether you watched his post match interview from the weekend. Please say I didn't say this at the weekend, but he said, "I promise you, we will improve."
mm,
And he said it like 3 times. He's like he was speaking to the fans. I promise you, we will improve. What does that remind you of? It reminds you of, I promise you, we're going to make you proud. We're going to
oh
make you
yeah,
proud.
Nuno.
Do you remember
Nuno.
that? The proper
Nuno.
remember Nuno at the start of Spurs was like, we're going to make you proud.
With a little fist. With a little
Yeah,
fist.
came in, won manager of the month, and then didn't win a game for like a month.
Yeah,
And then was
yeah.
2 months and then was gone. It just felt really, really weird for me. And it is just like, it's almost like people have realised that West Ham are actually very, very bad. And I think West Ham fans are actually accepting that they are absolutely terrible right now. And it doesn't look like it's going to get any better for them.
Yeah,
Like, I don't even think, like, we'd often have like these, I feel like with West Ham, you often have these like auditions, you have a couple of weeks before a half decent run. You're like, well, these are the games where I want them to do well so that if they become suddenly an option. Now, I think Bowen is probably still okay. I think there's enough there because Burnley at home, Bournemouth away, United away, Brighton away are still there in the next 6. They're still okay fixtures for them. But that's only if you've got Bowen. Like, if you haven't got Bowen now, like, I'm not buying any West Ham at any point ever. And especially like Nuno, it was like, oh yeah, I've got Juve, but then he's suddenly just not playing. Like, out of nowhere.
Jan asks about Gakpo to Saka for hit exact money. Probably. I would, I think. Burnley Sunderland.
Probably, but
I think I would.
Yeah, probably.
I think
take a couple of questions. I just need to nip away for a second. 1 second.
Sort the kids out, mate. Sort the kids out. Get on to why. Who is the replacement for Reinders? Hassan asks with minimal budget. I think sit on him. Greg asks about Chow at 4.9. Discuss. I do think Chow is the guy. I thought Cher was good last night. I didn't see anything that suggests like Cher's done for. And I think Newcastle's fixtures are getting a bit worse for cleans. So I don't think I would go Chow now. I think at the time has been, even though they haven't cleaned, I think the time has been almost for him.
Yeah, I think Cher was decent enough last night. I mean, he didn't really have much of an attack to deal with, though, did he?
Yeah. Really interesting question from Pete, which is, would you do and die for Saar? I think that's tough. I think I'd I think I would try and find another way.
I would agree.
I really do. I think it's tough. Um,
Because you are taking, I mean, you are ultimately taking a penalty taker out as well as all of that. So the non-penalty XGI stuff that was shown, like Everton haven't had a penalty yet, I don't think. So, well, they've had one. They've had one penalty.
Yep.
And so, yeah, I wouldn't be taking him out for Sarr. No, I'd try and find a different route.
I'd try and find him. Or I'd wait a week. I'd wait a week and be able to do it. I wouldn't panic on it. Sandry says about double Newcastle defence with Pope and Share. Don't buy Share. Share's not. I fully expect him to not play again on the weekend. FPL Sparta says Haaland injured. Not that I am aware of.
No idea.
You're going to go start looking. What about
Immediately.
Enzo for Sarr? So that's what Pete says. So that's the other option. If you
Wolves
I'd,
Burnley 2 after this though.
yeah, I'd still.
I see what it's, I see what with well, Delap will be back next week.
Yeah.
And the structure we saw the first 60 minutes of the game at the weekend where he was just less involved.
Yeah.
Maybe.
It's tight. That's a tight one. United are just talking a lot about Ruben Diaz. I'm still not there. I'm still not there on that money. What would you do if you had Van der Ven, by the way, with these runner games coming up?
I'd be selling him.
Would you?
With these runner games coming up, yeah. Chelsea, United, Arsenal, Newcastle, those 4 of the next 5.
Oh, I'd keep him.
And then 2 home games like in between.
I'd keep him. I wouldn't be able to help myself.
I mean, there's probably other fires. There's probably other fires, but
I'd still keep him. That's
I don't know. I suppose at 4-5, there's probably not too many.
No.
There's not too many good enough fixture runs for anybody else. Yeah, you would have to go. I mean, the only person I would sell him for if you didn't have him already, and I don't have any of these, is a Palace defender.
Yeah. I think in general, if you own an Enzo, you own an Ndiaye, there's still really good picks. I'm not sure I'd move those guys on right now. As Doug says about moving Enzo to Boomo and all that stuff, I just think they're good enough. I don't think they're your problems. You've got Enzo, haven't you? You're not panicked on him yet.
No, not fast at all. No fixtures.
I still think he's a potential buy. I know a lot of people are starting to get a bit twitchy on him just because, like, what doesn't turn in a week, but that happens.
That's fine. I mean, I wish it's a shame that Delap is suspended this weekend because I would have liked to have seen that
dynamic.
Delap, João Pedro, Enzo together.
Yeah.
Just missing Palmer from that 4, aren't they? Really? I mean, I'd love for them all to be injured until the end of time. Would be my preference, but
yeah,
I'm not wishing injuries on Chelsea players. Honest.
I reckon that's us done.
Done. Well, if we wrap it up really quickly in the next 13 seconds, we'll be done in less than an hour. So I guess we better say thank you very much to everybody for joining us on the stream tonight. Thank you very much if you're watching back. Remember, the deadline is 1:30 on Saturday, UK time. So enjoy your lion. Enjoy your lion. Enjoy your lion. Means you can get your part run out of the way, mate, and no stress.
Oh, we're going to have stupid conversations again at midday in Discord. What's going to go on about this week? Chips last week. Oh, God.
Put it down in the comments what we should be talking about Saturday lunchtime instead of watching football.
Yeah.
That'd be fun. Good chatting as always, mate. Catch you later.
See you Sunday.
See you Sunday.